Mounjaro, let's talk about it. Hi guys, thank you so much for joining me here today on this video. My name is Angela and thank you for coming and spending a little time out with me today. So on this channel we do all sorts of things. It's essentially a lifestyle channel and we do all sorts of things that contribute and support with a healthy lifestyle. So we do a little bit of cooking, we talk a lot about weight loss and weight loss journey. We've got the podcast Time Out for Weight Loss. I do shopping hauls, clothing hauls, lots of chit chat, all sorts of things. Now, as part of that, I share my personal weight loss journey. To date, I have lost 135 pounds, so 9 stone, around 9.5 stone. So you may be wondering why we're talking about Mounjaro, because Mounjaro is a popular weight loss drug. So we're going to get into this and I'm going to tell you why I've started to take this. So let me just take you back 5 years and 11 months. So 5 years and 11 months, nearly 6 years ago, I was at my all-time heaviest weight. I was morbidly obese. I was suffering with so many health conditions, many of them related to obesity. I am type 2 diabetic. I had high cholesterol, blood pressure. I live with fibromyalgia, chronic pain all over, SLE, lupus, arthritis, and also bursitis. So a number of health conditions. And at my absolute heaviest, nearly 6 years ago, I was in a really, really bad state, a really, really bad way. And there were days I couldn't even get out of bed. I was so ill. And in terms of my lupus, it affects my heart and my lungs. So life-threateningly ill I was. And just doing everyday tasks, going around the house, going up and down the stairs was a chore. Going for a walk down to the local shop was near on impossible. I was so heavy. Life was very, very difficult and my health was at breaking point. Well, it had gone past breaking point because I'd been hospitalised for my lupus and my consultant said to me that another 2 or 3 weeks I would have had a massive heart attack. I would have been dead. So I don't exaggerate when I say life-threateningly ill. I then started treatment and was on numerous medications, from hydroxychloroquine and prednisolone, which is a steroid. Then I went on to all my diabetes medications. So my life for the past number of years has just been medication. And then the impact that had on me socially, mentally, emotionally, physically was untold. So at Christmas, December 2018, I was at, honestly, I was really bad and I could not get out of the sofa. One Christmas, my son and I had, you know how you do, you have all your treats, all your snacks, all your nibbles. We were watching movies. At the end of the night, I could not get out of the sofa. He literally had to brace himself and haul me out of the sofa. That's how bad it was. And in that moment, I decided I was going to change my life. Because I was like, I'm not going to have my son becoming a carer for me. It wasn't going to happen. And I was at that point. So in the January 2019, it was the 8th of January 2019, I rejoined Weight Watchers. Now, in the past had done numerous weight loss programs. I've done Weight Watchers about 6 or 7 times. I've done Slimming World. I've done Cambridge diet, which I believe now is the 1-to-1 diet. I've done keto. I did Atkins. I did the cabbage soup, the egg diet, Mediterranean, paleo, you name it. I've done the lot. Liquid diets, the lot. Starvation, you name it. I did the lot. And I went back to Weight Watchers because I felt that that was a program based on good nutrition. Now, Slimming World, I've done Slimming World as well. And again, for me, Slimming World was grounded in good nutrition. But I chose Weight Watchers, and I had some success with Weight Watchers. For the first couple of years, I did really well. My weight loss has always been steady. I've never been a big loser. My weight loss was steady, and I lost about 4 stone. And then lockdown came. And at the first part of lockdown, I continued to do really well. And then the second lockdown came and the weight returned. And trying thereafter to get the weight off was really challenging. It was really difficult. It's kind of like, you've pushed that ball up the hill, it falls back, and you somehow have got the energy to go again. It's doable, it's possible, but it wasn't easy. Then in August 2022, I had an epiphany, and I'd realised that for me, it was, Weight Watchers, like a lot of the weight loss programs, they sell you a program and they tell you it's a lifestyle. But for me, it wasn't a lifestyle, because a lifestyle is something that I'm going to do for the rest of my life. The name is in the clue. The clue is in the name, rather. It's something you're going to do for the rest of your life. And there was no way I could see myself tracking and pointing and counting points for the rest of my life. I'd always struggled with tracking, always. So I knew that couldn't be a lifestyle for me. Now, I say Weight Watchers, it doesn't matter. It could be counting calories. I've tried MyFitnessPal. Back in the day, you have your calorie counting books and I struggle with anything like that, accounting for things like that. So it's not Weight Watchers per se. It was just the system of tracking points or sins or calories, anything like that, I really struggled with. So for me, that wasn't a lifestyle. It wasn't the lifestyle I wanted for myself. And the other thing that Weight Watchers promote, like a lot of the slimming clubs, is that weighing yourself regularly is a success factor. And that, again, wasn't going to work for me, because I was getting really obsessed with the number on the scale, and that wasn't healthy for me, and it was dictating what I did next. If I lost weight one week, I was celebrating with food and alcohol. And if I didn't lose weight or stayed the same, I was commiserating with food and alcohol. So the scales wasn't working for me. So I had to find a way through all of this, through all the noise of losing weight, but something that was going to be sustainable for me and work for me. So I started really taking notice of a technique that, in all fairness, Weight Watchers do encourage and do promote, and that is mindfulness. So I really started to think about my food, how much food I was having, the quality and the quantity of the food I was having, but also how slowly I was eating that, because I was somebody who would like just gobble the food down. I started to eat it really slowly, really steadily, smelling the flavours, tasting the flavours, really enjoying the textures, and every mouthful. So I really slowed my eating down. I put the scales to one side, started weighing myself less frequently, once a month or less frequently, and I really focused in on every day on a positive mindset. Started really recognizing that the mindset for me was absolutely key, and that had to be first and foremost, because if I was having a bad day, my mindset could easily go to, right, let's go and eat junk, but let's eat it in huge quantities. So I had to work on the mindset to say, no, if you've had a bad day, do something to make yourself feel better. Yeah, go for a walk, go and relax, go and talk to a friend, go and have a really luxurious bubble bath, get to bed early and just relax and listen to some music rather than turning to food. I had to turn to something else. So I also had to think about the way I looked at myself, because I'd always heard lots of noise which wasn't always very positive about me, and I started to believe that, and I had to change the narrative. So I started to do a lot of work, and when I started to do that work predominantly on the mindset and then mindful eating, success really started to happen. And in total to date, I've lost 9 stone and 5 pounds, so 135 pounds. And I've done that initially with Weight Watchers, but since August, so from from January 2019 to August 2022, primarily using the Weight Watchers plan, but seeing some success, let's be honest, seeing some success, but my weight fluctuating, going up and down. But since August 2022, I've taken a lot that I've learned from the Weight Watchers program, from the Slimming World program, from the weight loss industry, pulling all those key elements that were going to work for me. And now let me just say, not everything worked for me, but just pulling the things that worked for me, but really honing in on mindfulness and eating mindfully. And the bulk of my weight loss has come since then. So if what I'm doing is working and I'm losing steadily every month from August 2022, I've lost weight every single month apart from 1 month where I've stayed the same, then you may well be asking, well, that's madness. Why do you need Mounjaro? And that would be a very fair question. So I'm going to tell you why. So, Mounjaro, let me give you a bit of background about Mounjaro. Mounjaro is promoted and widely known as a weight loss drug. It is a drug that is used for people who are living with obesity and want to lose weight. But, and let me share this with you, and not many people may know this, but originally this drug was developed for diabetics. It was developed as a drug to manage type 2 diabetes. The same way that a few years ago there were other drugs of the same group but different brand names, including Victoza and Bydureon. So these drugs are they're not new. They're not new, guys. They're not new. Back in the day, I was on Bydureon and Victoza. Well, Victoza first and then Bydureon. But I had so much going on with my health. We're talking about 15 years ago. There was so much going on with my health. I was trying to get my lupus, my heart and my lungs under control. And I didn't have headspace for those extra drugs. But yeah, so it's nothing new. So this drug was developed alongside the other drugs, Bydureon and Victoza, to help diabetics keep their diabetes under control. That's what it's primarily developed for. And you please go and research that. Go and research Mounjaro and what it was developed for. So, developed to treat type 2 diabetes. When they were trialling it, they realised a couple of things. And they realised that one of the side effects of this drug is weight loss. And the reason it causes weight loss is because when you take it, does lots of different things. Now, really, I'm not a medical professional, so please go and do your own research. The reason it causes weight loss is because when you inject it, it stimulates the hormones and it slows the digestion of food. So when you eat, if it normally takes 2 hours, for example, to digest your food and for it to come out the other end, don't mean to be crude, but that's what happens. If normally it takes you that long, when you take this drug, it slows the digestion. So it now may take 4 hours or 5 hours for it to process and pass through. What does that mean? It then means you're fuller for longer because your body is still digesting that food way after you've eaten it. So essentially, you end up eating less. You end up eating less food. And if you're eating less food, you're consuming less calories. If you're consuming less calories, you're going to lose weight. So, and when you're a diabetic, weight loss and keeping your weight under control is really important. And also, so that when you are consuming less food, your body is able then to burn up the food that it's consumed, and therefore it has an impact on your pancreas, on your blood glucose levels, etc. So this drug was developed to support and to manage type 2 diabetes, but in their trials they realised actually for people who are non-diabetics, they're also getting the benefits, and the benefits is weight loss. So it's now commonly known as a weight loss drug, but it was originally developed to treat type 2 diabetes. So why am I on it if my weight loss has been so successful? It's simply because of that, because of my diabetes. Now, I'm type 2 diabetic, and now there may be some people here who are watching who are diabetic. You might be medical professionals and understand diabetes, and you may understand the science much better than myself. But I've been diabetic for over 20 years now, and I've always struggled to get my diabetes under control. At the moment, it is at the top end of the normal range, even though I've lost 9.5 stone. And having lost so much weight, you would think that my diabetes would be at the middle or to the lower end of good control, but it isn't. And at one point, my diabetic consultant thought that I may be borderline type 1. So after trying really hard to lose the weight, which I have successfully, I'm still at the higher end of the diabetes spectrum. So after careful consideration and discussion with my lupus nurse and the consultant, I've decided to give Mounjaro a go. Now, I had the conversation with my nurse after my last HbA1c results, and I was like really unsure as to whether I wanted it, because if it's for the weight loss, yeah, it's going to help me. I mean, although I have lost 9 stone over downstairs, I would like to lose maybe another 2 or 3 stone. But so weight loss, brilliant. But to get my diabetes really well controlled and really steady is so important, because uncontrolled diabetes is a very, very serious condition. It affects your eyes. It can affect your eyes. You can end up losing limbs. My father died of complications of type 2 diabetes. It's a very, very serious condition. And at the moment, I'm already seeing significant changes with my eyes because of the uncontrolled type 2 diabetes. So after thinking really carefully about it, I thought I'm gonna give it a go. As I say, first and foremost, to get my diabetes really well controlled. But secondly, if it's going to help me to lose weight, or more weight, I should say, then I'm happy with that. So that's the backstory. And if you followed me, I wanted to explain that, because I don't want anybody thinking, wondering what's going on, and the whys and all the questions. Now, if you do have more questions, pop them in the chat box. I'm happy to answer them. But I'm always transparent with you. And we're on this journey together. And I want to be absolutely transparent with you. Now, a couple of things I just want to share. Taking this is no way an endorsement. I'm not endorsing Mounjaro, weight loss drugs, or anything like that for anybody. As you know, I'm a supporter of whatever you need to do to get healthy and to reach your goals. I'm there with you 100%. I support in my community people who are on Weight Watchers, Slimming World, they've done keto, paleo, count calories, people who've had weight loss surgery. I've got family members and friends who have had weight loss surgeries, all types, from the balloon to the sleeve to bypass surgery. People who, like me, have done mindful eating. People who just do diet, exercise. Doesn't matter. I'm here to support you, whatever you do, because it's hard. Carrying weight and being overweight is hard. It's hard, and I can attest to that. I'm the first one to attest, to say it's hard carrying weight, being overweight. It's difficult. It's hard physically on your body, on your emotionally, mentally, spiritually. It's hard. It's embarrassing too. I remember the days being on a plane and having to ask for a seatbelt extension. I was just so embarrassed. It's embarrassing. So you need to do whatever you need to do to reach your goals, and I'm with you 100%. No judgments. And whilst for me, up until this point, I've not used any weight loss drugs, the time has come for me to try this, but first and foremost for type 2 diabetes. So I'm not endorsing this for anybody. If you decide you want to try it, you want to use it, then go for it. And I'm here to support you. But I'm not endorsing it. I'm not suggesting that it's something that you should do or something you should try. No. Okay. So I'm going to be starting and sharing my Mounjaro journey with you. And if it's of interest, then I'd love to have you with me on the journey. But if it's not, then that's fine. There's loads of other playlists available on the channel. I've got cooking, although I haven't done cooking for a while, but I will do. It's cooking, there's the shopping hauls, the clothing hauls, the podcast where I interview people, all sorts of things. So feel free to check out the other playlist. But I will be creating a playlist just to share my Mounjaro journey. So where did I get this from? So this I got from my GP. Now, I know that there are lots of places that you can get Mounjaro or Ozempic or any of the other weight loss drugs for. But because I'm type 2 diabetic, I got this under the guidance of my diabetic nurse and my diabetic consultant. So I had a conversation a couple of weeks ago. This was discussed and I was like, I don't know if I want it. I went away, did some research, had a further appointment, and then decided, yeah, after carefully thinking about it, yeah, I'm going to do this. So I picked this up I got it dropped off 2 weeks ago, and even when I had it dropped off, it took me some time to really think about whether I really wanted to do it. And I tell you why I was kind of like the jury was out. For the diabetes, I say, it's not even a question. But because I shared my journey with you, I didn't want anybody to think that I was cheating. Although I don't get it, because if it means that I lose weight, even more weight, and really improve my health, then that's not cheating. Do you know what I mean? But there's so much noise about the drug, whether people agree with it. A lot of people don't agree with it. There was all the stuff with Oprah and she taking the drug, and there was just, celebrities, Sharon Osbourne. There's just been so much and a lot more negative that I'm hearing than positive. So I didn't want to, I just felt a bit mixed about it, but I really had to think about it from my health perspective. So prescribed by the GP. Now, if you do decide to explore it, then talk to your GP about it first and foremost, to see whether it's something they can prescribe. If not, then you can get it on the open market. I have heard of a number of companies that do it, and from what I understand, they do consultations with you. They seem very thorough, and and then there's a decision has to be made. You have to send photos and everything. There are some chemists as well that will do consultations, and you can get it from there as well. And from what I understand, it is about £140 a month, which I think is quite expensive. However, if it means you're getting the quality of life that you want and you're reaching your goals, then what price? You can't put a price on that. So you can get it from a number of places, but if you do decide, I'd say definitely talk to your GP. Whether you're diabetic or not, do talk to them first. So I got this. I just want to show you around it. It's a pen, comes as a pen. Now, let me give you a little bit of a warning. You do have to use needles. Now, I know that there's some people that don't like needles. The thought of needles will put you off. So if that's you, then feel free to skip ahead by about a minute or two. But it comes with this. I'm going to keep it delivered, my pen, and also this big box of needles. There's 90 needles in here, and it's 4mm needles. Now, the needles are very small. They're just small. And it's not, when I was thinking of needles, I was thinking of those great big ones, but it's not. It's millimetres back that big. It's quite small. I have had a dose last week. So it came in the week, I think, yeah, about 2 weeks ago. I sat on it for about 5 days, and then I decided to take it. I took my first dose last Saturday, and then I took my second dose yesterday. So let me just show you the pen. So this is the liquid that is in it. You can see from here upwards. This bit is where I've had 2 doses, okay? It's really, really, really easy to use. And you can inject it at the back of your arm, in your thigh, or in your tummy. And I do it in my tummy. And when I was on Victoza and Bydureon, very similar pen, very similar injection. Yeah, so I was quite used to it. But as I say, from 15 years ago, and I didn't really lose any weight with Bydureon or Victoza, and that's the truth. And that was because there was so much going on with my health in my life. It didn't work, which comes to a really important point. This is not a miracle drug. It's not a miracle, guys. You still have to work with it. And I remember when I first went on Victoza, my diabetic consultant, he said exactly the same to me. He said, this will work if you work with it. If you are having the injection and you're still eating lots of refined carbs, lots of fatty foods, lots of sugary foods, high dense calorie foods, you're not going to see the results because it's not a miracle drug. So you still have to work with it. You still have to focus on good habits, and you still have to focus in on good nutrition, even more so because you're consuming less calories. So the calories that you consume do need to be of good quality to ensure that you're nourishing your body. So I've had my 2 doses, and what I will do, and now again, I'm going to be really honest. I'm going to be really honest with you. I really toyed with whether I was going to share my journey with you. I really, really honestly was going to toy with you, was going to really questioned whether I was going to share that. But then I didn't want to be coming on and saying I've lost £5 this month, and people are thinking, well, what's the difference? You know, so that's why, you know, I did stall. I could have made a video last week, but I was like, I don't know how it's going to go down. And there's fear. I was fearful. Let's be honest. I was fearful of sharing it with you guys. So I hope you guys will be gentle with me, because I don't cast judgments on you guys. So I hope nobody's going to cast judgments on me. So last Saturday, I had my first dose, and I was really nervous, sort of, undoing it and taking it, and then, you know, the placebo effect comes in. It's like, am I hungry? No, I'm not. No. Anyway, I just forgot about it and went about what I do already, or what I normally do. And there are side effects. Some people will get side effects, and I did have a major one this week. I will share this with you. I had a massive side effect this week. Now, as I say, I'm type 2 diabetic, and the whole purpose of this drug is to slow the digestion of food so you consume less. Now, I don't eat much anyway. If you've ever seen me, I know some of you who do follow me, we go out for meals and we hang out, you know, we're a sociable bunch, and you know that I don't eat huge meals. So this week I've eaten even less. I know, I've eaten even less. And the side effect that I experienced was a crash. My blood sugar levels absolutely crashed, and I was really bad for it. I was at work. I just felt I couldn't keep my eyes open. I was like, you know, just my colleague said she just kept seeing my head bobbing up and down, and I was just completely out of it. Then I went home, I had the worst headache, and it's like a migraine, but I know it's not a migraine. It is related to my diabetes, and it sits right behind my eye and just in this corner, and I couldn't shake it. I had the sweats, I had the shakes, I felt sick. I just wanted to be in a dark room. And that went on Thursday. Went into work Thursday. I had to go home. I couldn't cope. Just felt really ill. It started on the Thursday. That was it. It started on the Thursday. I went home on Friday. And then yesterday, I was just like flat out. Couldn't do anything. Had to make sure I ate well. Had to just get a lot of food down, a lot of water down. And today, I've bounced back. So that is, I think, a side effect that as a diabetic, I'm going to have to be really, really careful of, to make sure that I get good quality and a good amount for me and my body, and that's going to be some trial and error. But I know that people can experience headaches, being sick, especially if they're trying to force more food, because if you're used to eating a big plate of food and now you can only get so much down, that your brain is still telling you to finish that. So there can be side effects of you trying to force stuff food down and then bringing it back up. So there are a number of side effects that you can have. So I've been on it a full week, and I got on the scale yesterday. So I inject on a Saturday and I weigh on a Saturday. And yesterday I weighed and I lost 5 pounds. 5 pounds in my first week. Is that a true weight loss? I'm not sure, because I didn't eat properly for a day when I was ill. So probably not. So it might be reflected next week, but I'm taking it for what it is, 5 pounds in my first week. Now, I have had to really think about, even more so, because I do think about what I eat, but even more so, I've had to think about what I eat and the quantities. So really important to get that the fibre to aid the digestion, the protein to keep me even fuller for longer, and stay hydrated, and lots of fruit and vegetables. So they're only going to be small portions, but making sure that they're dense in those nutrition. So yeah, guys, there you go. 5 pounds in my first week. I don't think I've ever lost 5 pounds at all on my journey. My average when I've been doing it prior to starting on the drugs, my average weight loss was less than half a pound a week. Yeah. So 9.5 stone in nearly 6 years I've lost. Average less than half a pound a week. So for me to lose 5 pounds in 1 week, unheard of. Absolutely unheard of. At the start of my Weight Watchers journey, I think there was 1 week where I lost 4 pounds, maybe 4.5 pounds, but I've never ever lost 5 pounds in a week. So, so there you go. So, there you go, guys. What I will do as part of this journey, I will, because I do have to report in to my nurse every month and share with her how I'm doing and my weight, because, they have to collect data as well. So on this journey, I am going to go back to weekly weigh-ins, at least for the time being, a weekly weigh-in. But I'm also going to do all of those non-scale victories. I'm going to take my measurements and share those with you. And I'm also going to try on, I've got 3 outfits, a pair of shorts and 2 dresses and a belt. So 4 items that I'm going to use as my progress video. And I'm going to share those with you, how I'm going to get on with those. Because the number on the scale is one thing. But when people see me, people don't say, oh, you look like you've lost 3 pounds this week. No, people look and they see your shape. They see how well you look, your skin, how well your clothes are fitting. That's what I'm really after. So I would love it if you want to follow my journey, whether you're doing Mounjaro or not. I would love for you to follow me on the journey. And I will keep you updated in this playlist on how I'm doing on my Mounjaro journey. How long am I going to be on it? That's the question. It'll be until my blood sugar levels are at the lower end of where it needs to be, and I've lost the weight that I want to lose, which will be another, maybe 2, 3 stones perhaps. When I get there, I'll tell you. I haven't got a figure in mind. What I do know is I've lost a huge amount of weight. A lot of my clothes, they're just too big for me. I am trying to sell them off on Vinted. So if anybody is interested in buying any of my my clothes on Vinted, I will drop a link in the description box below. Feel free to head over there and make me an offer. I just want to, I've accepted ridiculous offers for things. I just need it gone. So feel free to do that. UK only, can't send it overseas at the moment. I do apologise, but UK only. So I'm going to share with you in this playlist my Mounjaro journey. I'm also going to do what I eat in a day as well, to give you an idea of what I'm eating. And I have my community over on Facebook. I've got the Facebook page, which is Time Out with Angela. And I've also got a very teeny tiny group at the moment called Time Out for Weight Loss. Feel free to join me in there as well. I'm also on social media, TikTok, and also on Instagram. And I've also got a Patreon page for our membership. I run a membership and we meet twice a month on Zoom and we talk about whatever you want to talk about. And it's really good fun. It's good fun. So do feel free to join. So there's lots and lots of support. But most of all, I would love for you to be with me on this journey. So guys, if my journey is of interest to you, or any other of the lifestyle things that I share with you, whether it be shopping hauls or try-ons or my holidays, anything like that, or of course the podcast, don't forget the podcast, then hit that subscribe button and click the notification bell and drop a comment. Now, really important, when you hit subscribe, brilliant. But when you click the notification bell, every time I upload a video, you will be notified. You'll get a little notification, so you'll never miss a video. So feel free to do that. But also give the video a thumbs up. Now, couple of things. I know I'm going on, but I'm going to wrap this up in a minute, I promise you. The reason it's really important is because if you like my content, obviously you'll be notified, but also if you like content around weight loss, wellness, Mounjaro, shopping hauls, etc., if you like and thumbs up a video, the algorithm will also recognize that you like that kind of content, and it will put that content out for you too. So you'll see it in your news, in your feed. Because I've been doing that with a few videos that I like to watch. And next thing I know, I'm discovering more and more of that content because I've liked the video. And YouTube recognises that for me as well. So it works both ways. And if you want to listen, then check out the podcast over on Spotify, and that is Time Out for Weight Loss. Okay, guys, so that's it from me. I've had my second dose of Mounjaro, and I will come back next week and I will share with you my results for next week. And I'm also going to share with you next week the clothes that I'm going to measure my progress by as well. So do come back for that. Okay, guys, thank you so much for being with me. I really appreciate you being with me to the end of this video, and I look forward to seeing you again soon. Take care now. Bye.